We obviously coming off a nice win up in New York at the Garden against St. John's. I told our guys it was it was tough. It's hard fought. It's a really good team. They're hard playing. So we that win will always be with us at the end of the year. But it's kind of a pointless win if we don't come in and play well tomorrow night against Purdue. And we have not played great against Purdue. The last 2 years, we're 0-2 against them. They're good. They're tough. They're smart. They've got excellent guard play. Braden Smith's, arguably the best point guard in the country. He's looked really good against us. They've got elite shooting. Cox killed us last year. Lawyer's one of the best shooters in the country, and they've got really good post play. So Kaufman Wren took it right at us last year. It kind of had his way with our bigs. So we've got our hands full tomorrow night. This is it's a great opportunity for us. Great opportunity for our fans. To get this high rated of an opponent coming in the non-conference. They're 1 in coaches poll, 2 in the AP poll. It'll be the highest rated non-conference game in the history of Coleman, and we need Coleman to be loud. We need our fans to prove that this can be one of the toughest places to play in the country, and we have been that over the last 5 years. We've got a pretty good home record against some of the best teams in the country. So, the highest ranked non-conference team before Purdue was Baylor back in 22. We beat them here. Obviously, Houston's coming here. We got to win. We've got big wins, and our fans have been a big part of that, and we need them to be a big part of that again tomorrow night. So hopefully they can get out and make it best home environment in the country. Injury updates: Collins, due to a medical condition, will be out indefinitely. Keaton is progressing, did not practice today. He's starting to do some basketball activity. He's highly doubtful for tomorrow. And then Davion did practice today and looked all right. So Davion highly likely to go tomorrow, provided there's no setbacks after today's practice. So everybody else should be good to go. So.
Yeah, just what kind of improvements have you seen from Holloway and Reitzel and just their ability to attack the rim?
Yeah, I think Holloway getting downhill with his aggressive physical drives is drastically improved from last year. He never really turns it over. He's always been great taking care of the ball, but almost to the point where he wasn't aggressive enough because he was so gun shy at turning it over. Now I think he's got, that fine balance figured out. He still doesn't turn it over, but he's aggressive, gets downhill. He's got an unbelievable finishing package. He's got the floaters. He's got the high off the glass scoop shots. He can get it up early, go right off right. I've been telling him, you don't make bad decisions once you get in the paint, so we got to get in the paint. And then I think Reitzel, he's got a different look to him. He's stronger. He was out for a year, and while he was out, I think, Henry Barrera, our strength coach, did an amazing job with his body. He ate better. Amanda, our dietitian, got between her and Henry, and then Clark doing the rehab. I think he looks great. He's strong, physical. His physical drives. He'll put a bump on a guy with his shoulders with the way his body is now, and they're not getting back in front of him. So, and both those guys shoot it at such a high level. You got to play them close, so they got to be able to put it on the floor, and they've added that to their games. I think they're both really improved in that area of their games.
You said something after the North Dakota game about guys have to learn effort. Do you feel like for new guys, whether it's transfers or freshmen, that takes a while to learn in your system really how hard you have to play? And do you think that guys kind of saw the fruit of that against St. John's when they do play that way?
Yeah, I do think they have to learn it because there's different levels to it. And our hard looks a lot different than some other places hard. So, you got to kind of define it for them. And we kind of define it by what we chart in our blue-collar points. So, are you getting to the offensive boards? Is your hand up? Are you trying to get deflections? Are you getting offensive rebound tips, even if you don't get the rebound? Are you in there with activity, keeping it alive to give us a chance? Are you getting defensive rebounds? Are you willing to put your body on the line to take an on-ball charge and move your feet and put your chest in there? Like, there's levels to it. Some of these guys need to figure it out. If you graded it on a scale of 1 to 10, I think some of these guys thought they were giving max effort, and they were really giving us about a 6 out of 10. And they need to figure out how to get to a 10 out of 10. And I think we saw a lot more 10 out of 10s against St. John's than we did against North Dakota.
You talked about kind of turning the page from the St. John's win. How have you seen the guys kind of respond to practice and approaches, especially so many of the new and young guys you have in the program?
Yeah, so we've had 3 practices. We got back late Saturday night. We were supposed to be back before the football kicked off, and the whole air traffic controller disaster. We just sat on the runway for the whole day. Yeah, what was the point of tipping off at 11 o'clock Central if you're going to not take off in the airport? We didn't take off till after the football game kicked off. So, we get back super late Saturday night, spent the whole day traveling. Then we did give them off Sunday. So, got with the trainer, got some rehab. And then we practiced Monday, Tuesday today. I thought Monday was pretty good. I honestly didn't think Tuesday was very good. Like, we've got to now, part of it is we got some guys banged up, and we're trying to make sure that they're not getting any more banged up and be as healthy as we can for the games. But, because you shorten practice and go lighter doesn't mean it's a off day or a lighter mentally day. So just because we're taking it lighter physically on them doesn't mean. So we've got to get better in that. We got to get better leadership. But I thought today they bounced back and they had a really good practice, super locked in. Everybody's on point. Know what we want to do in the scouting report now. Knowing what we want to do and actually be able to execute it against one of the best teams in the country, and they are the best execution team. I mean, they've got gazillion sets and 6 different counters to everything they do. So, there's no way you can have every play that they run down. That it's impossible. But I think our guys were locked into the concepts that we've got to have done, and I thought they were really good today. We just, moving forward, we got to have 3 great days going into these really big games.
Yeah, with Collins out for the time being, where does that leave your front court, do you think?
Yeah, thin. I mean, it's not just Collins, it's Keaton's probably out too. So, Aiden and Noah really need to give us great minutes at the 5 spot. And they played pretty tough. I thought they were both physical and played hard, tough. Too many fouls, but they were tough against St. John's. Now we got to get some production. They got to finish at the rim. I think, those 2 and Collins combined to go 3 for 8 at the rim. That's not good from your center spot. So we got to do a better job finishing at the rim, and they got to go get some rebounds. Like, they can't just box the other big out. They need to go get some rebounds too. So, we're a little thin there, but I do think Aiden and Noah can handle that. Taylor is kind of our only true 4 at that point. So, if you go small ball and put Taylor at the 5, like, who do you put at the 4? Well, Amari's averaging almost 10 rebounds a game. I mean, he had 10 against St. John. So, maybe you can go 4 guards. I mean, essentially that's what you're going to have to do if Taylor goes to the 5. If Taylor's at the 4, he needs a break. You got to go 4 guards. So there's going to be plenty of chances we have 4 guards out there, which means the bigger guards, Amari, Davion, Houston, they're going to have to get in, rebound the ball a little bit. But, yeah, our front court's thin. But you go back to the year we made the Final Four run, we started Ryland Griffin at the 4 spot. I mean, you look, we started 4 guards. I mean, Ryland, it's not a 4. So we can play small with the way we play. We're just going to have to make some tough physical plays, and we got to rebound the basketball on our defensive end.
Yeah, just what are the pros and cons of facing a Purdue backcourt that was the same as last year, given what they did against Alabama last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think our returners will hopefully feel like they, need to prove themselves against these guys, because LeBaron played well, very good offensively, but on our defensive end, we weren't very good. And then, we need the other guys in the backcourt to play well too. We need LeBaron to have a pretty good game. He played well against St. John's. He played well against these guys last year. But defensively, we got to do a better job. I mean, that's easier said than done. Braden Smith's one of the best all-around point guards, you know, when you talk about skill, pass, dribble, shoot. I mean, he's got all of it. Sees the floor well, ridiculously high IQ, knows how to run their offense. I mean, this, like, for basketball junkies, he's a fun player to watch. For the coach going against him, he's not very fun to watch. So we got to do a better job. We got to have a better plan. But the issue was, even as good as their backcourt was, we still should have won the game if our front court had showed up. I mean, Kaufman ran, if you remember, at 26 and just had his way with our front court. So, yeah, our backcourt's got to be better, but I a bigger issue was our front court last year, in my opinion.
Just with today being signing day, I don't know if you can talk about those guys yet, but just in general terms,
Yeah,
kind of where that stands.
I don't know if we've gotten any of the actual signing papers back in yet, so I'm not at liberty to talk about any individual guys. Hopefully we have those in soon, but we are excited about the class. It's not done, but, you know, you look at what we're trying to do. We're trying to add versatile, skilled, athletic guys that can play all over the floor, and that's what we're trying to do. So we've made a huge point of emphasis at that. I think we've gotten some really good ones, guys with high upside, guys with high character, and without committing a violation, talking about anybody in particular. I mean, you guys are on social media. You got a pretty good idea who we should be having signed here in the next, hopefully by the end of today. All right, thanks.